And welcome everyone to the Fierce and Fabulous Society talk show. Now, today I am actually recording this episode, and I might have introduced already telling you that, but hey, I am recording this episode from a beautiful place called Powfoot in Dumfriesshire, and I have escaped for 3 beautiful days of solitude, presence, creativity, business planning, and looking out over the sea and listening to some amazing music. And our guest today is one of the most inspiring women that I have had the pleasure to call my friend, to have in my life. And is a real confidant and source of guidance and inspiration continually for me. And it's like everybody I bring to you in this show, it's all about sharing with you the amazing people that I surround myself with. And as the saying goes, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So the people you see emerging in this show, can you imagine having all of those people in your life? And you each have the ability to choose who you have around you. So I am so super delighted today to be able to introduce my friend, my colleague, and wonderful woman extraordinaire, Jules Kelly.
Oh my God.
Now let me see. I am actually on my phone doing this today. First time ever, Jules, that I have ever used Restream on my phone. So it's kind of odd. I'm sitting here in a glam pod. I've never been in a glam pod before. Have you?
You live in a bloody glam pod. You are a glam pod.
I am a glam pod.
You are a glam pod.
I swear to God, it's about, I don't know, 8 foot by 12 foot. And that is it. It's got everything that you need. A lovely decking looking out right over the water, swallows flying over me all day. It's spectacular. And I know that our diaries just weren't able to come together for Tuesday at 7 o'clock. But hey, you just have to get on and do what you need to do, don't you?
You do, love. We do. And we do it laughing, don't we, love?
Oh, we definitely do. And I think the amount of laughs that we have had over the last wee while, and it's like with life, it's always, there's lots of highs, there's lots of lows, there's lots of in-betweens, and you have to just be able to embrace all of them. And the only way to be able to embrace all of them is to have incredible people around you. All different types of people too.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree.
So, Chuck. Listen, folks, see for us, if there is, she calls me porridge. Right?
Yeah, my little porridge. My little porridge pot that sits in a, what were you in, a glamour pod? Glamping pod.
My glam pod.
My little porridge in her glam pod.
And I love it because every time that we'll have, like, you laugh about my Scottish accent, and I'll look at you and go, as if you don't bloody have an accent. Do you know what I mean? Oh my God.
An old Spanish
Spanish
fella that I met in Ibiza called Tito, gorgeous little man. We went out for a beer and he went to me, what is money? I went, what? What is money? I said, you taking the piss out of my accent? He said, I'm learning it. I'm learning it. Money.
This is exactly what happens with every conversation we have. We come together thinking we're going to talk about one thing, but we don't. It's usually about an hour and 45 minutes later that we think, what did we want to talk about? So anyway,
we cover so much though, don't we? We cry, we laugh, we sort out the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
We talk through what we need to talk through. We work through our challenges and we crack on.
It's amazing, isn't it? So I'm wanting to share that amazing today with everyone else that is watching. So, Jules, tell the listeners more about you. Introduce yourself. Because I've got you down here as the Life Auditor.
I am the Life blooming Auditor.
You are.
I am the Life Auditor in all her bloody glory. And I became the Life Auditor after I audited my life. After I hit a bloody big brick wall in 2017, having worked in the corporate world for about 26 years, starting from the age of and I've worked in some amazing, massive, multinational organizations as a product developer, as a sales, but mainly in senior leadership roles, and tried to fit in to the noise and the crap that is the corporate world. I never quite towed the line.
No.
I always did well. I always did bloody well, and I'll tell you for why. I did well because at the age of 3, and I've only learned this the last 4 years. At the age of 3, I took on a bit of information through an incident that happened to me that made me feel that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy of attention, and that was ingrained in me at age 3. And that's our formative years. That's where we learn our belief system, and what we believe might not necessarily be true, but it's what we use to keep us safe. So one of the ways that manifested in me was that I had to prove myself in all walks of life that I was bloody good enough. And I did have something to say, and I was going to be heard. And to do that, I was always going to be the best. But to be the best, I had to work my off. So I won the awards. I won the Saab convertibles. I won the sales awards. I hit the £1 million return on average capital. I did it all. But what I ended up with was completely and utterly broken, physically and emotionally. So I did 26 years of that. Then I went in and created, with my husband, our own multi-7-figure organization, which is beautiful organization, but came with a lot of blood, sweat, tears, anxiety, stress, no money. We made a lot of sacrifices, and we learned lessons, and we ended up getting. I've got to be careful how I word this because I'm under NDA and non-disparagement clauses. But let's just say we took on an investor that wasn't true to his word, and we spent 4 years plus probably £500,000 fighting our cause through the legal system, through the justice system, and we won hands down. But that led me to a point of being completely and utterly broken. And had a massive full-on breakdown, physical and emotional, in 2017. And for the 10 years before that, I lived with fibromyalgia, which is a chronic pain condition. So I applied for my blue parking badge. I was pretty bedbound a lot of the time. I was very, very unwell. So 2017-18 was crunch point for me. But it was the first time in my 47 years that I had allowed myself the opportunity to say, what is it do you want?
Yeah.
I've arrived at 47 on society's hamster wheel, if you like, with my belief system that I was going to be the best because somebody told me I wasn't. But actually, I was bloody good at business. Did I enjoy it? Some of it. Is it what I wanted to do with my life? Life's short. Do I want to go and talk shit for let's blue sky and things like as sure as eggs are eggs, and another one, what was the other one? Now don't crash those beliefs on the rocks. I went, what's that mean? And all that shit. And there was in GE, when I worked for GE, the MD at GE at the time had a tagline where it's keep on keeping on. I'm not being funny. Keep on frigging keeping on. Hello. Anyway, so I tell you what, I knew I wasn't having that in my life anymore. I won't go in there anymore. And I did this life audit, and I took the carpet up of my life, and I decided what wasn't working, what I wanted to keep, and what I wanted to get rid of. And that was probably about a 2.5, 3 year journey. And I'd spent a lot of time on opiate pain medication, and I wasn't living, I was existing. And it got me thinking that there's a lot of other women that are doing exactly the same. Now, I healed myself from this chronic condition. Now, 1 in 20 people in the UK have this condition.
Yeah.
And there is no cure.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to slide down into that. So I documented the life audit, my journey, into a program to help other women. So I'm very, very passionate about helping women to live their best life, to actually look at it and think, what the frig am I doing?
Yeah.
Hello? Why am I trying to be everything to everybody every single day?
Jules, the people, women out there listening to this, a huge amount of you will be going, like me, I am sitting here wanting to go, that's me, that's me. Same shit, but different day. Do you know what? That's me.
And I tell you what, Marianne, as sure as eggs are eggs, you'll still be there if you don't make changes. So you will. Yeah. So
but do you know how many times do we burn out? And it doesn't matter if you're in corporate world or whatever we name that as. Do you know? I mean, that's labeling it as these big organizations, but you could be working in a cafe, holding down 3 jobs, having kids to come back to, looking after your mother, and nothing in there is about you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can end up back in burnout. Different way to get there.
Exactly. And I'm kind of being so that's where the Life Auditor came from. And I completely agree with you. This isn't just about high flying women. This isn't people that have just been at the top of the game. This is Beryl down the road. This is Beryl down the road that's been caring for our family and living a life of duty. This is someone that has just had a baby and has been told that life's going to be frigging fantastic, but this baby is crying morning, noon and bloody night. And actually it's not fantastic. It's bloody hard work. And how have I got here? And where did I go in it all? And I tell you, there's a lady, in fact, let me look if I've got my book here. There's a lady in Scotland, she's another porridge.
See what I have to put up with.
See,
I mean, this is the woman who has no accent.
No accent. So there's a book here. I'll show you. So this is a Scottish lady as well. It's called To the Woman, and I'll tell you this poem. This piece of writing hit me in the face like a wet fish.
Right.
And I thought, shit to the bed. I thought, and I'll tell you the poem because I've remembered it because I'm going to be using it in an event that I'm speaking at in a couple of weeks, and it's called To the Woman That Is Slowly Fading Away. And so I'll just tell you what it is, and then you see how you feel about it. So to the woman that has lost her spark, to the woman whose get up and go has well and truly gone, this is for you. This is to remind you whose daughter you are. This is to remind you that you don't need to be everything to everybody every single day. You didn't sign up for that. Do you remember when you used to laugh and sing and throw caution to the wind? Do you remember when you used to forgive yourself more easily for not always having to be perfect? Well, you can get that back again. You really can. And that doesn't mean letting people down or walking away. And it doesn't mean, all it means is you need to be kinder to yourself. You need to be brave enough to say no sometimes. You need to be brave enough to stop sometimes and rest. And that starts the moment you realize that you're not quite the person that you used to be. And some of that's good and some of that is not. But some of you needs to be brought back again. And if anyone in your life is not okay with that, then they are not your people. Your people will be glad to see that light sparking up in you again. So if you've been slowly fading away, my friend, this is the time to start saying yes to all those things that bring you joy and no to things that don't. And it's really pretty simple.
Powerful stuff, though, Jules.
Oh my God, that hit me like.
Boof.
And I
giant
thought,
salmon right across the head.
yeah. And I thought,
Yeah.
shit the bed, that's me.
Yeah.
And
But
how many other people is it?
totally. I mean, every life is unique. Every story is different. But the amount of lives that will connect so powerfully to those words, to be
Yeah.
able to say, that is me.
And they do. And I've seen, and I've been in touch
Yeah.
with the lady that wrote it. And I said, you know, you've inspired me so much to do something about my life. And I've created this life audit. And she was like, oh, that's brilliant. Da, da, da. And I've spoken to her about the book that I've written on the back of it. And my book that is being published on the 20th of September is called The Fading Woman.
Wow.
And this has all been inspired by reading this piece of work, and not just reading it, but actually connecting with it.
Yeah.
And knowing that all of us, no matter how bloody successful you are in life, however you deem success, there are parts of you that have or may have faded away. And I am so bloody passionate about waking women up, getting them to wise up and getting them to take control of the life that they've got, because we've only got one.
Oh, so
We've only
precious.
got one. And
yet in this world that we're in, that is full of fast-paced decision making, disposable everything, just doesn't support that. And as I was listening to you, I was thinking, you know, our whole society and what we teach our children, the expectations we set, doesn't allow us to be flourishing as the unique people that we are. That story of connecting with yourself is all about being able to connect with what makes you and me different, so that we can. But the sausage machine that we've constructed in our cultures just gets you on the conveyor belt, and you have to conform. And as a woman who totally resonates with what you said, I mean, I didn't even hit being able to go, what is happening? The pain got too much just around my 38 to 40 kind of years. So the last decade has been transformational. I look at pictures, Jules, of the women. I mean, I'm like you, I came from a kind of corporate background, burnout, saying this, listen to the same old leadership stuff, getting churned out all the time, making zero impact on the organisation. And then nobody thought why every 10 years people would say, when you launch something new, we did that 10 years ago. Do you know? There was no transformation anywhere. All it did was tick a box, because there was no looking at that individual. There was no wanting to hear individuality, and people around me sacrificing self for others and people pleasing the entire time. And I was,
I think we do it there. Even when you've got your own business to a point, you want to, your customer's always right, but then are they? And I think doing this piece of work and stopping and thinking about, well, what do I want? How do I want to be treated? How do I want to live my life? What is important to me? What are my values? Going through all of that, because we don't have time. We don't have time to do that. We're on the, like you said, we're on this hamster wheel. We're in this sausage machine, and we follow our belief system, what we picked up between the ages of 0 and 7. Now, holy shit, I have been cutting the crisscrosses on the bottom of the sprouts for years. I only just found out that that's bullshit. You don't need to do that. But my grandma taught me that, and her grandma taught her that. And it's exactly,
do you know what I did? That is hilarious. I was the same, and it was only I'd say the end of last year, like Christmas time, I thought to myself, why am I taking all the green off the sprouts?
Yeah,
because that's a good bit. Why don't I just try and boil them by doing nothing to them?
Yeah,
and guess what? Radical, right?
Radical. I mean, right, listen, watchers and listeners, this is Loose Women. Hello there. Good morning, Britain time quality stuff. We will tell you how to shizzle your sprouts. You can shizzle your sprouts with porridge and Jules anytime you like. Yeah.
But you know but it's the simple things that can have the deepest meaning. I mean, a pot of sprouts, 40, I mean, no, actually, it was 50 years.
Yeah.
I have been cutting the end off, taking off the outside leaves, cutting the cross in it. Now, instead of taking them out, giving them a wee rinse and whacking them in a pot.
Okay.
Now,
so take that one step further. That was a belief system you've had for 50 years. What if you believed that you were at the back of your pecking order in your life, your whole life, and that everybody else came first? Imagine getting to 50 and just discovering that. Well, that's what we're about, right? This is about us waking these women up and saying, actually, no, what you got taught then does no longer serve you. It's not where you need to be. And actually, you can be where you want to be. And if you want to sit in your kitchen and put crisscrosses on your sprouts, or if you want to go and climb Mount Everest, or whatever you want to do, you can do everything that you want to do.
Absolutely. But do you not think, Jules, especially at our age, because we're the same age, so I mean, I'll be 51 this year, and it's funny, this week I put up I'm getting into doing reels.
I know.
Instagram. I used to be a competitive ballroom and Latin American dancer, would you believe, right? But I love music. Oh God. And it's about being able to show up online in the most authentic, real way that is for you. So anyway, I did this reel, and it was like, what are the top 3 questions you get asked in business? Right. And it was like, how long you been a coach? And I'll say 30 years. And then they say, how old are you? And I say 50. And then the next question is it Botox? Now, the thing is, I have got pictures of me in my mid-30s, and I look older than I do now.
And why?
I swear to God, why?
I tell you why. Because you were living a bloody life of duty and out there bringing the bacon. And that's what we do, isn't it? We just... And the other thing that we do, the other thing that I'm really passionate about, which while I've got, while we're being a lighthouse, because if you don't want to see our light, you don't need to see it. Just float on by. But one thing that I'm also really, really passionate about is about us understanding our bodies. And having lived with chronic condition, I think what a lot of us do is we see our body, our meat suit, as just that, something that's outside of them. And like my husband's one of them. He can live his life he wants, and then he goes, I can't believe this is how I feel like. Why do I feel like this all the time? Why do you think? Because it impacts the way that you treat your body, that whatever you put in it and on it has an impact on the way that you feel and the way that your body works or function or doesn't function. And on this sausage wheel that we've been on this hamster wheel and the sausage machine, the other thing as society has evolved is that we have become a society of consumerism. We want things, so we want to be faster, thinner, happier, cleaner. Oh, you want our house to smell of fresh mountain frigging springs, and all of that comes with chemicals. We have infertility issues, we have mobility issues, we have ADHD, we have depression, we have children's behavioural issues, we have migraines, we have hormonal imbalance. We're going to talk hormones are a big old shizzle. And a lot of those issues are to do with our lifestyle and a lot of these chemicals that are in our world. And if we just stopped for a minute and learned about what we're using, rather than it being convenient, all you hinchers out there, I know you love your Zoflora, but it's ill. If you're overweight, if you're not sleeping, if you've got anxiety, if your hormones are up the chute, if you've got the worst menopause ever, and you are dousing your house in Zoflora, don't be looking somewhere else that the doctor to try and fix you. Look under your sink, because if you just look at some of the stuff that you're using,
it's terrifying.
It's terrifying, but there's some people are thinking, well, why will Zoflora be? Why will that be bad?
Absolutely. Because there's just not been any education about it, because it's consumerism. Somebody's been making a profit.
Absolutely.
They've managed to get it past safety, health standards, I mean, even if we take, I had a conversation with a guy just this week, and he had one of these stalls, you know, having these big, out of town super shopping places, and it was about sugar. Now, sugar, if we discovered it today, would be like a Class A drug.
Oh God, it's more addictive than cocaine and heroin. Yeah,
Class A drug.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of stuff out there that has been there in a time, in fairness, we probably didn't know as much as we know now. Do you know? I look back to even when I was like a child growing up in the 70s. And our awareness in our culture is different. We're also able to communicate much more freely now across the globe, which makes our world much, much smaller than it did. But we are still doing it despite being in a position that we really do know better.
But money makes the world go round. And
it does.
So this information is available if you go digging for it.
Yeah.
So, for example,
you gave me a great app.
I did. So there's an app called, there's two apps. One of them is called Think Dirty. It's not a dodgy one. And the other one is called the Chemical Maze. Now, by way of an example, I'm going to show you a picture now, just for talking about it. So this is a picture of I don't know, can you see her? Can you see my daughter there?
Oh, yes.
Can you see her face? Can you see how it's burnt?
Oh, yeah, because you can see it's quite
Can you see her mouth? Yeah. So she thinks that this was a year or so ago, and she thinks I'm bloody anal because I've removed as many chemicals as I can from my life.
Yeah.
Because I know that was part of what was making me ill.
Yeah.
So she said, Mum, this is natural. It's all natural, love. I said, is it? She said, yeah, look, it says 100% natural exfoliants. I said, okay. And it's been tested by a dermatologist. I said, oh, lovely that. I said, there's nothing natural about that, my love. So fast forward 20 minutes. She'd gone upstairs, titivating. She went, Mom, my face is on fire. Okay, so those two apps that I just talked to you about, they come up like this. They don't have all the things on it like I've drawn on it, but they come up with a list. And things are, the ingredients are categorized green, amber, and red. And they tell you what impact it has on your body. Now, in this product that she used had the same ingredients that they use in toilet bowl cleaner and oven cleaner.
I mean, it renders you speechless.
Doesn't it? And some of the ingredients, while they're not, while it says caution advised, and some of them say not been approved for use in cosmetics.
Wow.
Because a lot of this is unregulated.
Yeah.
So
it's how do we get people to be putting themselves in a place of taking responsibility to inform themselves?
It's just about being a conscious consumer, I think, and also understanding that you always have two choices. So before you slap something on or use it, think about is this helping me or is it harming me? And your skin, for example, is not a barrier for chemicals. Just because you're not taking it inside doesn't mean it's not affecting you. So everything that you take in orally. So remember when smoking was a thing? Do you remember when smoking was a thing? Like you say, in the 70s, pictures of your granddad's knee with his park drive.
Everybody's sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Without seatbelts.
I remember sitting in the car driving to Germany, and my dad's there on his Piccadilly like that, and I opened the window in the back like that, and he went, "Shut the bloody window! It's freezing in here." And there's plumes of smoke.
My granddad sat and smoked a pipe in the car.
Tonight. But now smoking's banned in public places. Smoking's banned indoors. Smoking's banned on aircraft. We know that smoking's bad for us. They don't advertise. You can't even see cigarettes in a supermarket now. That's taken years and years and years because we know that is bad for us. And if you think of your body as an empty tube, if you like, and you watch that smoke go down and what it does to the lungs and all the rest of it, you know that it's not doing you any good. And it's the same. It's starting to think the same way about what you put in your body and what you put on it. And anything that we ingest generally gets filtered by our liver. That's our filtering system. And if it's natural, the filter will go, I know what to do with this. Okay, and off it goes. If it's not natural, it's thinking, what the chisel's going on here? and it'll either sit there and then stop the liver working as efficiently, and then sort of the hormones that your body's trying to get rid of naturally can't go because you've got this backup of chemicals that the liver doesn't know what to do with. So the hormone imbalance starts. Plus a lot of metals, they go like, where's that going to go? And then sorry Alf, I'm just on a thing in a minute. Yeah, talking German. That goes in our brain. So people with Alzheimer's and dementia with brain stuff, there's been found to have a lot of metal. So mental. It is blooming mental. So but we don't know this stuff. We don't know this stuff. So it's just a case of making sure that, you know, if you put stuff on your skin, 70% of what goes on goes in.
Yeah.
Doesn't get
terrifying. But the thing is, Jules, your skin is your largest organ.
It is, people, but remember, most people don't think of it as part of them.
They don't at all. Whereas we'll say, if somebody would say, what's your biggest organ? Oh, your liver, your heart, your stomach. Do you know what they think internally?
Yeah.
But your skin is your largest organ. And I mean, look at what we've had in the last decade around sun exposure, skin cancers.
Massive.
It's because this massive.
Yeah, it's massive. I think the thing with the skin stuff is important because it doesn't get filtered by the liver, it goes straight into your tissue.
Yeah.
And so that's important for me. But again, it's just a learning thing. And so if you find yourself unwell, or your hormones are up the shoe, or you find yourself struggling with certain symptoms, before you start treating the symptoms, try and have a look at what the cause is. So that's kind of what I'm really passionate about as well. And the Life Audit is looking at all that, looking at there's another boasting book here. It's called, I'm a bugger for books, The Blue Zones. 9 lessons. So the blue zones are places across the world that where there's very little pollution. There's very little chemical interaction. People live naturally. And actually these women go through the menopause, but they don't go through the symptoms that we do. Wow. Because the body doesn't need to rid itself of the chemicals. The imbalance isn't there. So
the thing is, it can be for a woman sitting here listening to this, and it's all, and you're maybe in that place, you've not thought about yourself. This is all new stuff. You've still got all these responsibilities. You don't see any way out. It can feel really overwhelming. And as human beings, we will always choose death if the only other choice we have is uncertainty. You know, we will stay where we are rather than go into a place that we're not sure of what's ahead of us. So I really get why a lot of people stay where they are, even though it's blatantly obvious that it's miserable. But so how do they take that first step, Jules?
But some people don't know. Some people don't know that that's where they are. And actually the first step is realization. The first step is realization. And actually, if that piece of writing there resonated at all, it's thinking, right, well, actually, that is me. So where did I get lost along the way? And maybe I do need to afford myself some time. And how do I do that? And, you know, you could start reading books or following people that inspire you, or follow people that can help you on that journey. You know, if there's people, one of the biggest things for me was getting rid of the bloody drains in my life. You know, we've all got those
crabs in the bucket,
Harry Potter dementors that suck the living bloody daylights out of you. Why are we spending time with them? Because because we should. No, we don't need to do that. Get rid of them first, right? I'm making that sound really easy, and it is a process. But first of all, eradicate your drains, and then fill your life with stuff that radiates you up, that lights you up. But first of all, if there's stuff that is that isn't quite working for you, is let's just stop and write it down. I think journaling is massive as well. And I know you're a journal as well. So it's almost like saying, well, why do I feel this bad? What is it? It's like,
that was my new journaling book. Behind every successful woman is herself.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really important. I always have really nice ones stitched, binds on them, and something that I can really feel connected to be able to write those words down. Because what I've learned in that journey from my late 30s, 3 kids, marriage, illness, all this going on, corporate life, is that I kept thinking in the beginning, when will it be fixed? When will I get there to being me? But actually, what I've discovered on that journey is that there is no end point, and how amazing is that? And actually, my journey is about learning how to be more and more and more present every single day and open to discovering something new about me every single day.
I think that's spot
but
on.
that brings its challenges. That brings its challenges when there is no end point.
But there's never an end point.
Never.
Life isn't, you're not searching for a destination. It's a bloody journey, and you learn along the way. And I think there are a couple of little tasks that I've done. One of them is part of the Life Audit and one of them isn't. But one of them that I've just done recently when I was reading a book was to think about, almost like go into yourself and think about your best day ever, the way that you want your days to feel and be. And it's almost like literally from waking up and to the point where I'm waking up, I'm in my beautiful comfy bed, and I've got my white squidgy bedding on, and I just feel like I'm snuggly underneath, but the light's dappling through the window. So that much detail. The light's dappling through the window, and I can smell coffee in the air, and it's literally write it down. What's happening during your day, and actually as you're writing it, you're feeling it. And the whole thing about becoming the destination is about bringing that feeling and that reality to your here and now. And the more you can be in that feeling and in that, the reality will come because you will create it. The universe will deliver. And that sounds happy clappy, but this is all about energy.
And the thing is, if you're going to start doing that, is remembering that I remember when I first started doing that kind of work, nothing came. I didn't know. And so it takes, okay, I'll try it again another day, and I'll try it again another day.
But we talked about this the other day, and it's about this man saving him in his boat. It might not have been that day and the next day, but you need to be looking out for the signs.
Absolutely. We tell that story. There'll be loads out there that will have heard this. But I mean, it's along the lines of, a guy's drowning and he's going, God, please save me. And along comes a fishing boat. And he says, come on, we'll get you at the water. He goes, no, I'm waiting on God saving me. And along comes, shortening this down, a yacht, a submarine, and he's going, no, I'm waiting on God saving me. And so, of course, the guy eventually drowns, doesn't he? And he gets to the pearly gates and says, God, why didn't you save me? He goes, why didn't you get in the damn boat?
Yeah, exactly.
I sent 4 of them for you.
Exactly that. So there's that. So it's looking out for signs. There's actually feeling what that future feels like, feeling it, seeing it, visualizing it, even in your mind's eye. So what have I started to do now is when I go to sleep at night, I tell myself that story that I've written down, and I'm feeling it and I'm being it. And as part of the Life Audit and Radical Self-Care program, what I ask you to do is think about your future self. Who is she? What does that life look like? What's she wearing? Where is she? Who's she with? What can you smell? What you eating? Who's around you? What are you feeling inside? And when I first did that piece of work, and I looked in my knicker drawer and I thought, well, I'll tell you what, the future self doesn't wear frigging grey knickers.
Totally.
So
10-year-old ones out of Marks and Spencer's.
So off I went shopping, and actually, so all of a sudden, a bit of the new me is already here. Yeah. Then I thought the new me has freezers next to her bed. Yeah. So I go out, I buy my freezers and they're next to my bed. The old me didn't have those, and all of a sudden, well, the new me is actually here already. Part of her is. So what's next? And little by little, the new you, the life that you want and the life that you're going to make happen and you're going to choose is coming step by incremental step.
Yeah.
So when you get asked, well, why isn't it here? Let me tell you, no one's going to deliver it for you.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Like,
Doesn't turn up like a HelloFresh box.
No, it's not happening. You're going to do the work, but it doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be painful. Yeah. You just have to know inside what you want. And for me, Marianne, that was one of the biggest challenges, was to give myself the space to think, well, what is it I want? Because I've always done what everybody else wants.
Yeah. And you do have to keep checking in. God, I'm doing this today from a glam pod. Because it's just a few days to do exactly what you have said. But I've learned through that decade of that continual practice, those tiny steps. I bought myself tulips. Mine weren't freesias, but I always thought I want to buy myself flowers. So I bought myself tulips all the time. And when they died, I got another bunch of tulips and I bought myself tulips. But now at this point, I know when it's time. So I'll schedule time away now. And there, last week, I just knew that it was needing to happen sooner than I'd planned it, and came away.
Yeah.
And had a beautiful morning.
See, I would feel guilty about, the old me would have felt guilty for leaving everybody behind to do their own thing. But actually, like it says in that piece of writing, it doesn't mean letting people down. It just means saying no sometimes.
Well, the thing is, what went through my head was, oh, I can't do that because I've got to do that live recording on Tuesday. Yeah. Actually, there's always a way, you know. And actually, and the other part was, I've also got this. I've got a quiz thing online that I need to reduce and redesign that needs to be done. And I thought, I could take my laptop with me and do it. Guess what? I did. I didn't bring my laptop. I went home. I was on my way here. Thought, I forgot my laptop charger. Turned around, went back to the house, went into the office, picked up the charger, didn't see that I'd left the laptop on the table, came out here. But actually, my point is, I'm rambling on a wee bit, but my point is that I find that the world guides me all the time. Now, see, before, if I got away like 2 hours away from home to find that I didn't have my laptop, so couldn't do what I'd planned to do, I would have had a meltdown, Jules. I'd have been greeting, stressed, everything. Do you know what I did this time? I thought,
greeting. What's greeting?
Greeting. What do you do?
I know what it means. I know.
But do you know what I mean? It's like I would have had a total meltdown. This time I went, fuck, I've not brought my laptop. Oh, well, do you know something? I kept saying I'm coming here to write, and a laptop isn't writing, it's typing. So the world must be telling me something. And that was it. There was nothing. There was nothing else. And it's those moments that I become really conscious of the way I've responded, and I've chosen. I've had the choice to react, and I've done it in a really powerful way. And that's when I just take moments in noticing how far I have come on that journey from buying tulips.
But it's those little things, that are actually really big things in the end.
Huge
things. I mean, waking up with fresh freesias or tulips next to me is bloody joyful, isn't it? And why wouldn't you do it? I mean, that costs $2.50.
But the thing is, you prioritising yourself that in that way then starts to reflect in other ways. Me not going bonkers and having a meltdown because I forgot my laptop will show up in other ways when things don't go quite right, and will help me to make better decisions.
I had the same thing when I was away in the summer. My phone was broken before I went. And so for 7 weeks, I had a keyboard that didn't work. And I thought that I can either get wound up about it, or I can just think the universe is telling me to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I just thought, I'll do what I can when I can. But if I can't, I can't. And it's like you say, you apply that then to life.
Yeah.
You apply that to life.
I am sure everybody listening will know why we stay on the phone for 2 hours.
Oh my God. I could talk to her all bloody day. Let me tell you, right? It's so important. Let me just share something about Marianne. She's a belter. She's honest. She comes on the phone in her knickers. They're not grey. So she's already living a better life. I see her out of the shower. let me tell you something else. I've only actually known her in the flesh once, but I feel like she's a soul sister deep down.
Totally.
And be open. All I'm saying to you is be open to welcoming new people into your world. I know lockdown has been a really tricky time, but there are people out there that you're meant to meet. They're meant to be in your life for a reason, and it could just be to talk shit with. And actually, talking shit is great. We actually dead clever.
Oh, we are pretty clever.
Clever.
And we proudly say we are smart women, but we do talk a lot of shite.
Well, it's not really shy. Look, the other thing that you need to know is we have crystals in our bra. Really important. Look at us sticking them in. Right, hang on, let me get mine out.
Actually, I have got quite a lot in today.
Yeah.
I'm weighing myself down. Hold on, this is ridiculous. This is because look.
Right, ladies, I am on a mission. We are on a mission to create a crystal tip brigade. And we are.
Does this.
This is it. We are out to create successful, empowered, beautifully healthy women, whether you're at the top of your game in the corporate blue skying type of keep on keeping on way, or whether you're starting out a knitting business or whatever. We're here for all of it. And
beautiful. I think, just coupling on to what you were saying there about, I mean, we haven't known each other that long, but oh my God, total feeling a soul sister. And it's just the most beautiful thing. But having done so much work on ourselves, I think that comes from, I can make decisions really quickly as to whether someone is going to be, I'm connected to someone or I'm not. And I have the confidence to put boundaries up. You know, to say, actually, you're a really nice person, but in here, I know we're not going to jive. And that's okay. That's okay, because the world is all about difference.
I also have a rule, Marianne, that I don't work with dickheads.
Yeah.
That's another thing, because actually for the last God knows how many years I've had to work with so many knobheads in my time. And actually this is my time. And it's my life, and it's life that I choose. So actually, ladies, you don't need knobheads in your life. Just say no.
You don't need it, and you don't need. And the thing is, when you say no, nothing happens.
Well, it just it sets your stall out. It creates a boundary that know what. It's telling the universe, send me no more knobheads. I only deal with nice people. Yeah. And it also shows that you are putting your own health, mental health, and your own energy, which is why we've got crystals in our bra. Energy is everything. It literally is everything. And I think that's another massive learning curve. Listen, I could talk to you all day.
No. So tell us, right? Because you have got your book coming out, and this is going to just envelop everything that you have been talking about. Okay, so I have got a beautiful book coming out, and it's coming out a week on Monday. What day are we today? It's Sunday today. Sunday.
I'm waiting for me to go to Sunday dinner, but this is being coming out on Tuesday, so it's coming out in 6 more sleeps. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 more sleeps from when you're watching this, and it's called The Fading Woman, and it's by Jules Kelly. That's me. Yeah. And it basically documents the Life Audit and the Radical Self-Care Program, and it will walk you through where you are now to where you want to be in a really straightforward, no nonsense, no jargon. And it'll also add bits about the sprouts and about my journey throughout that. And if I can do it, ladies, anyone can do it. So
remind everybody, where can they get this, and what date, Jules?
Amazon. 1 minute past midnight on Monday the 20th. I'm going to bring it out really, really affordably. Because actually working with me one-to-one, I've got a week, girls, but I'm going to bring it out really cheap, because I want as many people around the world I want as many amazing women around the world to be able to take control of their life. And if you buy it on the first day, you'll be able to do it.
Wow. So
it's not going to break your bank, but you can get that version really, really.
So 20th of September, the Fading Woman on Amazon is what we're wanting to be buying. And where else can people find you, Jules?
So in a couple of weeks after that, you'll be able to get the hardback in Waterstones. Yep, you will. I know. And then you can find me on my website, which is, will it be launched when this comes out? At the moment, my website, in fact, I'm not going to give you that. My website will be is juleskelly.com. And on Facebook, you can find me at Wake Up, Wise Up and Flourish Tribe. And it's a closed group for like-minded women from all walks of life, where they can share in their joy, their challenges, their celebrations and their struggles in a really safe place. So,
and it'll be lovely, because I know that I'm in there. So if it'll be nice to see new faces coming into the group.
Gorgeous, you know,
magnificent.
And they don't need me to hold that space, because they're actually they're growing this community, beautiful community, where actually they start the conversations and they're happy. They feel safe enough to raise something, you know, and amongst themselves, which is beautiful.
Wow.
So
Jules, wonderful. So you can see, folks, this is one of the most amazing women that I have in my life. And I'm going to go and tuck my stones back into my bra while I go off and get my Sunday dinner, go for a nice walk along the beach. But Jules Kelly, thank you so much for being my friend, joining me today, sharing so openly today for the value of everybody, because I know for a fact that there are women out there listening to this that can't help but associate with every word that you have just said.
Bless you. And my darling porridge, right back at you, sugar tits.
Right back at you.
Right. To you all.
Love you.
Thank you very much. Lots of love.
And thanks for joining, everybody. The Fierce and Fabulous Talk Show, which is here on a Tuesday, 7 o'clock. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care, everyone.
Bye.